Thanks everyone for joining us today. Um, I'm Michael. I'm co-founder of Conversion. Conversion is the data platform for mobile apps monetizing with in-app subscriptions. And today we'll discuss how to use video formats both for user acquisition and user retention. Using videos is a very popular topic within our community. So we decided to invite the experts who can share their experience, including insights on increasing conversion of video ads, using videos for retention, and creating video ads without spending a fortune on them. So let me introduce our guest today, Sabina Shakurova, analyst lead at Google UK, and Jen Sotetic, senior product marketing at Storyly. Storyly is a simple solution to integrate stories into your app. So without further ado, let's get started. Sabina, how are you? Maybe I think we can start with your presentation.
Yeah, so hi guys, thank you very much. It's nice to have you all here. And thank you, Michael, for the intro. So once again, I'm Sabina. I work as an analytical lead in Google. Currently, I work for the UK gaming market, and my previous experience mostly was primarily focused on fintech clients. I quite closely work with apps, so I'll be happy to share some insights and recommendations regarding the best app experience. Okay, so I hope everyone is able to see my screen. At first, we'll talk about the app campaigns in general, like what they are for and how they function. And then we'll move and stop a little bit at the point of video creatives and how we're going to make the best creatives. So just a little bit of insights about the general trends regarding app campaigns. So actually, currently, app campaigns are skyrocketing. And if we compare the data of 2020 to the pre-COVID era, we can see that smartphone users had increased their time a lot by 80% in response to coronavirus. So actually, mobile apps have been developing quite a lot even before. And now when people are moving to the work from home experience and to a little bit different patterns of life, apps are even more important. And basically, the estimated value of transactions in apps by 2021 is more than $6 trillion. So this is, as you can imagine, a really big figure. And what that all means, it all means that if you have an app, it's really time to let everyone know about it and make sure that you promote your app the best way possible. So actually, what can Google offer for your apps to be promoted in the best ways? This product is called Google App Campaigns. So basically, this is the only and the main type of campaign that will help you to promote your app campaigns. I will quickly try to explain you the features of Google App Campaigns, how they function, so that you could understand how probably to spend your time managing these campaigns, what to pay attention to, and what you could actually leave to machine learning experience. So actually, what is good about app campaigns is that they're super easy to set up. If we're talking about them historically, they used to be called universal app campaigns. This is like an old name. You can still find it somewhere. So why they're actually universal? So they're universal for a couple of reasons. How they treat the ads and how they treat the networks. So actually, if we're talking about app campaigns, it's important to remember that you do not have kind of a set ad. It's not like something which is set in stone. Instead, you have different manual assets. So the pieces that the ads contains, like text, creatives, video, images, and so on. And due to different combinations, you receive the ad. So the assets are combined in various forms and combinations, and this is how you get a great number of ads, which are later on tested by the machine learning in different networks. These are the networks that actually app campaigns could use. And because of this asset-based type of campaigns, you have a great deal of signals and a great deal of combinations. So instead of having just a number of ads and a number of signals to rely on, you have like really a multitude of them, and machine learning experience can try to pick the best one for the particular auction. So this is actually why app campaigns are quite easy to manage, because you do not need to think of different types of users. You do not think about different parameters of the auction. You just think of the input data that you put in your app campaign, and then it's going to pick up just by the way of machine learning. But what is important actually to think of when we're talking about app campaigns? So basically, one of the most important things is to align your app campaign with the product stage that you're currently in. Basically, we have three big stages. So it's pre-launch, it's growth, and it's maturity. We would not stop a lot here, because actually pre-launch is more about gaming clients, when you, for example, want to make another title and want your potential clients, your potential users to know about that. But what is universal is growth stage, when you're trying to acquire more and more new users, and maturity, when you're more or less stable in your number of users, but you still want to make your app best used and provide the best experience and knowledge to your clients and customers. So let's first talk about this part, about growth. So the type of campaign that help you to get new users. For that matter, we have an app campaign called installs. This is a big chunk of different campaigns, and they primarily focus on getting new users to you. So these are targeting people who do not have your app yet. What's important to understand there is that there are different subtypes of campaigns. So different types of goals and objectives that campaigns are optimizing towards. So for example, there are installs campaigns within the install campaign that might be confusing. This is the one that you need when you want to ramp up the number of your installs. So this is probably when you just start to work at some particular market, or you just launched your app and you really want to boost the number of installs. Another type is app campaign for actions. It is when you, of course, need an install, but you are more focused on the clients and users that will perform a particular type of action after they actually installed your campaign. So for example, you want them to make a particular click, you want them to register, you want them to subscribe, you want them to, I don't know if it's fintech, make a deposit, for example, or something like that. And finally, and this is one of the very new types of campaigns, which is currently proven to be quite effective, is app campaigns for value, is when you're actually optimizing towards your return on ad spend. And for this reason, you need to provide data of how much this campaign brings to you and actually how much it costs to you. And then you're trying to optimize not just for an action as an item, but for the actions that bring the most value to you. So basically, this is how it looks like. Once again, if you are caring about the install volume right now, and you want to have these installs quickly and in a cheap way, you go for TCPI campaigns. If you want to focus right now on the number, on the amount of in-app events, you go for TCPA campaign or app campaign for actions. And finally, if you have strict user value goals and you need a certain payback, you need a certain return on ad spend, then you're moving to the most advanced solution, which is Turo's target return on ad spend. Of course, the complexity increases as long as you're moving along that line, but this is how the campaigns are naturally developing, and it actually pays off a lot. In addition to that, it's important that your campaign promotion, app campaign promotion, is aligned with the funnel for the users. So we start with the awareness with app installs campaigns. Then, as we discussed, we move towards installs, actions, some particular actions within the app. And then finally, you have your user downloaded the app already. and you're starting to focus more on retention and re-engagement of the user. So they already have your campaign and you want them to do something in it. And this is actually where we are going to the second big type of the campaigns. And these are called App Campaigns for Engagement, or ACE. So here are those. They are focused on the clients that already do have your app on their phone. And this actually corresponds to the maturity cycle here. So you're not just acquiring users right now, but you're trying to leverage in various ways your existing user base. You want to keep them engaged. You want to probably reactivate some of their behaviors, and so on. So basically, app campaigns in Google can help you both to build some initial base of users and interact with your current user base. Here's just some information to quickly remind you why it is important to re-engage your users as well, and not just to build your initial user base. The thing is that, for example, only like more than 1/3, just slightly more than 1/3 of installs remains in use after 7 days. And people actually sometimes just forget what they have downloaded. And for this reason, it might be more economically reasonable to reactivate your current customer than to get a new customer. And just to provide you a couple of examples what these ACE campaigns might do, you might focus on different types of user lists for various reasons and goals. So for example, you want just to make some kind of activation. So for example, your user downloaded the app, but they never registered, or they registered, but they never made a transaction. And this might be the case when you want to activate your users. Or, for example, you want to reactivate your users when they have been dormant users for some time of period. So, for example, you have not seen any activity from them in the past 30 days. That is also a good case, like a standard case, when you would go for app campaigns for engagement. Or you want, for example, to cross-sell. So, for example, your clients, your customers are using one part of your app. For example, they're, I don't know, ordering a cab, but they're not ordering food from you, or whatever that might be cross-sold might be used to help. Actually, app campaigns for engagement might help you here. So probably with this, we'll just close the chapter on the general understanding of app campaigns, and we'll move to the second one, and in particular, how to approach your video creatives. So I would just say that this has all been built by research by one of our teams, which is called CreativeWorks. So these are the empirical results mainly, and they would provide you kind of directions where you should go to build your perfect video ad. So once again, since app campaigns are universal in nature, they have different networks and actually video assets. So these assets might have different networks as well. So for example, they can be shown on YouTube, they can be shown on AdMob, or just play in Play Store. And they could also be different in formats. So they could be square, they could be landscape, and whatnot. So for this reason, actually, it's very important that you try to cover different types of the creatives, because this is actually much more reasonable than you try to create your perfect creative that would work everywhere. So just because the networks are super different and the auctions are very different, it's important that you have a full range of different formats of your video ads that would suit different auctions. So actually, the first insight, one of the main insights for app promotion is that the app should be the ad. This means that when we're talking about driving installs or driving particular actions, it's very important that you kind of showcase your app, and you will provide information what your app can do, and just share some UI that you have there. Actually, this doesn't mean that it should be a demo version, so it's not be like an exhaustive demo. You just can show how your app can vary. You can show a quick glimpse of how the UI works, and this would provide your users the idea of what the app is. And for example, you can see this short snapshots of videos, what that could be. So once again, it's not a detailed demo, it's just some snapshots of what your app might do and how it works. And this actually is much more compelling for your potential users just to understand what you want them to download. This is actually an interesting example. So this is based on some kind of research with Tinder of what app ad works better. So they both kind of try to provide the insights into the interface, but you can see that in this one, in the first one, you do not see any app UI, and in the second one, it actually shows you the UI. And what is interesting that Tinder saw some increases in IPM. IPM is one of the main metrics for understanding how your creatives works. It's installs per thousand impressions, and you can see that when the people saw their UI, they were 10 to 15% more likely to install their app. And this experiment is a great example how brands can integrate the app seamlessly into a story without needing it to be like a how-to, just a short glimpse. The second very important point is to use visuals to supercharge your story, to make strong visual effects and a good, strong storyline. So here we'll just have a look at two different ads from Booking. So this one is the first one.
Book your next stay with the Booking.com app.
Okay, and the second one.
I love that there's always something different to do in London, and there's a distinct vibe in each borough. One of the most Instagrammable spots in Covent Garden is Neal's Yard. It's a great place to visit. There are so many food and drink options and plenty of boutique shops to explore.
Yeah, okay. So you can see that these are two app ads, video ads from Booking. And actually what was interesting, I'm sorry. Yeah. So what was interesting is that the first one was 20-30% more successful in terms of installs per thousand, since it used more compelling visual elements. So, for example, just imagine that you are trying to understand the storyline or just trying to understand what is going on in each particular ad. And here the story is quite easy to understand, whereas this one starts with a little bit of need you to immerse to understand what is going on. Or just imagine that you're listening to this, or these ads are playing without any sound. So actually you'd be able to follow your storyline of that first without any issue. You will still understand that. But it would be actually a great challenge for you to understand what is going in that second one. And which is why it is actually very important to consider the ecosystem where your ads run. So actually the next point is moving us to audio as a force multiplier. So we just mentioned that potentially your sound can be off, but actually you should be ready for it to be on. And when used properly, it can reinforce your ad in a very good way. So actually paired with strong visual elements, our previous learning, audio can be especially useful. It could immerse viewers more into the overall app experience. And these audio elements could include different things. So this could be sound effects, This could be dialogue, this could be music, or this could be voiceovers. But be very attentive here. It's important that these pieces kind of work well together, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. So this is the video with no sound. Just have a look. The next one, sound effects. Next one is the music. And finally with the voiceover.
All right, all I need to do is make these matches fast. I think this one goes here and this one here. This one has to match this one. Oh no.
So here are 4 different types of videos with different layers of sounds. And actually we have learned that the final one with lots of different effects like voiceover and music and sound effects had almost 30% more IPM performance compared to that of no sound. But what is very, very important here is that these audio elements should play quite well with each other, because if they're not compatible, if they're not like compatible with each other, it wouldn't work well. And we could see it like in the next video. So for example, this type of game is the music-based game, and let's see a couple of examples of their video ads. So here is music only.
I'm the bad guy. Duh.
Here we add some sound effects.
I'm the bad guy. Duh. I'm the bad guy. Duh.
And finally with a voiceover added.
This is the music game that you can't miss.
The man I know. So you're a tip.
With all top songs in one place. Exactly.
Okay, so actually what we have seen here, just 1 second.
This is
Is that these 2 pieces worked worse than the original one with music only. So the IPM was 5% worse compared to the music only piece. And the problem here is that you can see that here sound effects or voiceovers, they're not compatible with the music that you have here. They're kind of trying to intervene into one another. And for this reason, you do not have one very pleasant story. Instead, you have one thing interrupting the other one. So when we are talking about using different audio elements, you need to be very attentive that this plays well into one seamless story. Again, another piece is that you should be very clear about your call to action, what is actually called in app campaigns. So you should be very clear to your users, to your potential users, what you want from them, and what you expect them to do. So maybe you want them to download your app, maybe you want them to register, whatever it is, you should just be very clear about that and make sure that your potential users are getting this from the creatives. So actually, I think we're almost done here. Let's just try to summarize a couple of things and remember them. So basically, the app should be your ad, and the app UI context should be very important, and it helps you to drive downloads. You should be very creative and at the same time careful with visuals and the sound on and off stories. You should be very clear with your CTA or call to action. And finally, just remember, because app campaigns are so based on machine learning experience, and they have like a lot of automation in them. It means that there are not many levers for you to improve and optimize your app campaigns. And here is where creatives comes actually in the first place. And this is actually where you can manage your app campaigns by much and attract new users. So I hope that this was helpful, and I will be happy if there are any questions. Feel free to add.
I have a quick question. It looks like there are very few settings that you can change in Google Ads. So does the highest leverage for ads performance improvement lie in testing a large number of creatives?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I think you just kind of grasped the idea of app campaigns. So on the one hand, you have like very few settings, like hard settings, I know, like language or the type of platform you're advertising that you can tweak there. You do not choose, I don't know, different signals. You do not choose your user base if we're talking about new users and so on. And actually, in our studies, we have learned that app creatives can drive as much as 70% of success. But the second thing that you mentioned is that, yes, sometimes you add something and it works better, sometimes it does not. And it actually means that you always should have some kind of room for experimentation. There is no like one fits all recipe where you can just go and create a perfect app ad. You will just have to make some kind of tests and see what works for you as well. Because actually, when we're talking about machine learning, it tries to choose the best video and the best ad, but just for the particular auction. So it's very important that you have like a broader range of different creatives and different formats, because what suits well in one particular auction, or of course in one country or whatever, might not be the best version in the other auction.
Mm-hmm. Got it. We actually do have a couple of questions from the audience, and the first question, you can check the questions in this Q&A section of the chat. So there is a question from Eric regarding rewarded portrait video ads. I'm not sure what's that, but maybe you can provide some insights.
Well, as far as I understand, it's more about monetization. It's not about the promoting your app. It's on the other side, because what rewarded video is when we're talking about monetization strategies, when you already have your app and you do not want to spend money to monetize, to actually promote it, but you want to get money from people that are advertising into your app. This is where these rewarded videos come into place. But this is slightly different that we are talking about. So the current presentation is about how you promote your app.
Got it. And there is also a question from Kate about specific call to actions, CTAs, if there are like any best practices. I guess that's what the question is about.
Yeah, there are actually some. That's a very good question. So like one of the main best practices here is to use only one. So please do not use a number of call to actions. This works really bad for your app ads, or basically any ads, not even app. So if you're asking the client or user, go there, download this, and then register, and then do this and this and this wouldn't work. You need to choose just like one particular action that you want to focus on in this type of creative and go with this one. And this actually will save you the trouble of like low installs and low IPMs. And then the second thing is that it should be very easy to understand and very easy to follow. So it should be the thing that the client, the user directly grasps, and it is very simple to perform. So it shouldn't be something that the client will struggle to find into your UI afterwards.
Got it. Thank you. There is another question from Piero. How often do you recommend changing the creatives? Is there any ad fatigue?
Actually, that's a perfect question as well, because this is one of the things that we talk a lot in Google with clients. So generally, you for sure need to change your creatives, and the general timeline when it's trying to burn out is probably 3-4 months. So this is the average for many industries. So you should be ready that you should update your creatives probably at least 3 times a year. It wouldn't work if you just made a perfect creative and then you go with it for the next 2 years. It will just not work. And actually, for this reason, you probably should not try to invest super a lot of money in terms of creating your assets and creating your videos, because you need to update them regularly. And we are trying to switch our clients from the mindset of, like of the TV, when you used to make super costly, super pricey commercials, and they worked well. Actually, in YouTube, in all the mobile experience, just clear creatives that probably evoke some type of emotions, I don't know, like humor or anything else, they work best. So just make sure that you try to find that balance and that you're still able to update your creatives every 3-4 months.
Got it. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your presentation.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, that was a fantastic presentation. Thanks a lot once again. I think we can hand over to Jinsu now and Storyly presentation.
Okay, I think you can hear me. So I will just share my screen to start the presentation. Okay, I guess you're seeing my screen now. So thank you for having me today. First of all, I'm Jansu. I'm in the product team as a product manager at Storyly and AppSamurai. And so just let me briefly introduce our company. In AppSamurai, we are trying to bring a comprehensive approach to mobile growth with our 3 products. And we are trying to touch the pain points of, different stages of mobile apps, any mobile apps lifecycle, basically. So today our topic is like more on Storyly, our newest, most recent product. And just, in a nutshell, Storyly is the first user engagement tool that brings the native store format into any kind of mobile app. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to enhance Storyly every day with some rich functionalities to provide the best experience for the end users as well as our customers. And thank you, Sabina, for great examples on the importance of video content in mobile marketing. But what I will try to explain here is it will be more like on video stories and the importance of, stories as an effective medium for in-app engagement, and also retention and also conversion. So I will try to explain my examples in the context of user journey. And also, I will try to explain how video stories are different than the traditional video experience. So again, what is Storyly? So we are providing a lightweight SDK, and that brings the story format into any kind of mobile app and also websites. So we also have some interactive components that you can add on top of your stories, which I will cover later in this presentation. And we also have a no-code studio, a creative studio that you can create your content. It can be either image content, video, or GIFs, whatever you like. But of course, we will focus on video in this presentation. So as of now, Storyly is in more than 200 apps and in more than 40 countries across the world. So we will cover some of the examples with some video stories here, like JDID and New Look of UK. Also our customers include Domino's and Focus Online, etc., and lots of finance apps, of course. So as I said, I will try to approach this topic with the sense of the user journey. So the classical user journey is like this, as most of you probably already know. And what we're trying to accomplish here is that stories are very flexible by nature. And what you can do with Storyly is that you can basically touch all these points and all the pain points that you're having in any stage of this whole journey. And you can use stories, and video stories is a great part of it. So I will try to cover them too. So one of the great advantages of stories is that it doesn't get in a fight with the design of your app. So that's why you can use in every step of the user journey very easily without hurting the experience for your users. So let's start with onboarding. Onboarding is very important, and it's the starting point for many businesses because it's it's how you welcome your users, and it's very crucial if you want to establish a strong connection with your users in the first place. So we've been thinking about and working on like how the best onboarding can be, and we have some points to shout out today. One of them is that onboarding should be full screen if you want to succeed in that, and also it should be immersive, it should be distraction free, and it should also be skippable, because if your users get what you're getting at, they can just they should be able to just skip the whole onboarding flow and just get into your app directly. So and also one step further in onboarding would be to use segmentation and personalization as much as you can. Just a quick example for this, like you're probably, like if you're in mobile app business, you're probably trying to acquire new users by using different channels. And so in onboarding stage, what you should do is you should actually treat your newcomers separately, depending on their segments, depending on their acquisition channel that you get them into the app. So these are all the things that you can do with Storyly with in-app stories. And the second step is engagement. So engagement in a nutshell is the measure of how your users interact with your app. And I can just say, there are two main KPIs for engagement. I think you will all agree with me. One of them is session time. It's very important for especially content apps. And the second one is the core actions that the users take. So you should find a way to motivate your users to spend more time in your app, and also take the desired actions that you really want them to take. So what we suggest is that if you can just provide them a dynamic and fun experience, then it will be great for engagement. And in Storyly, we do this by putting interactive stickers onto stories. And interactive stickers are like polls or quizzes or emoji sliders, emoji reaction bars. It can be like lots of things depending on your preferences, of course. But I would also suggest not to stop there, because making it dynamic, making it more colorful and fun, to make that like this, you should also use some videos. And static images are very good, but videos are like much more appealing, and they have this huge impact on the users. So in Storyly, you can also publish interactive and shoppable videos, and I will talk more about shoppable videos in a minute. But for now, I will just skip to conversion. So for conversion, the most important thing is to make the purchase process as short as possible for your users. And Storyly helps you have customizable CTAs like buttons, like swipe ups and product tags onto your stories. And by using them, you can just skip the whole boring parts and just directly guide your user to the checkout process. And this is called also one-click buying, and end users actually love this nowadays. They don't want to spend some time, they don't want to waste time in while trying to buy some items that they really like. Also, it's very important in conversion to make the whole journey personalized. So we know how big this personalization market is, and there are lots of tools, lots of great tools that provide personalization, like deep personalization to mobile apps like Brace, CleverTap, MoEngage, and Leanplum. And like if you're brave enough, you're probably developing your own solution, in-house solution for personalization. So what we do in Storyly, we can be integrated, and we are integrated with many of the most common ones, but we can be integrated with any custom solution that you're using to create personalized stories. Because what we know from lots of user research that we also make is that also customers demand personalized content and personalized offers from the brands that they are using. So personalization is a great way to conversion. And just to name a few personalization examples, I could say like product recommendations, some items that are abandoned in the cart, or again some items that are abandoned in the favorite section, or you can even use the user's birthdays to create a personalized experience, and that will help you convert your users even more. So we've been talking about like how appealing, how fun, and how engaging the stories can be. But you can also use these features of stories for monetizing your app. You can create a new in-app revenue channel by using stories. So there are a few ways to do so in Storyly as well. One of them is that you can simply manage your brand partnerships within stories, and you can do this manually, and the whole content, the whole advertising will be just native within any content stories. So, but we also took it one step further, and we are integrated with Google Ads SDK in Storyly. So what you can do with this integration is that if you're running Google AdMob or if you're using Google Ad Manager, you can simply integrate your ads, your Google Ads within stories and run programmatic ads or your premium deals in Google Ad Manager. And retention. So in today's mobile ecosystem, retention is very important because you keep spending your time and money on getting your users in the app, but like most of the time they just go away after just one visit or maybe 2 visits or so. So retention is very important, and interactive stickers of Storyly really help you retain your users, because we know that like today gamification is very important to keep the users in the app, to help them spend good time in the app. And we have seen many good examples from our customers too that are gamifying the whole experience within stories. Like most of the customers do daily trivias, pop-up quizzes, and also in return they give rewards to their users. So this helps them. This helps our customers retain their users, and the users keep coming to the app again and again. So basically what I can say is stories also increase app stickiness with interactive stickers too. And reality, last but not least, reality. So reality is very important in also Storyly world too, because we know that the applications, they spend lots of effort in all these user journey steps, but we also dream that wouldn't it be great if your users just keep bringing new users to your apps. That's probably like every app owner's dream. So knowing that, we provide shareable stories. Shareable stories is just a function, like it's just a small icon in the story that helps you, that helps the end users to share the story immediately with their social circle through any platform that they use. I mean, it can be an email platform, it can be a messaging tool, it can be even on Twitter, etc. And also, apart from that, we also have copyable promo codes. And we make this copyable because we know that people, especially in e-commerce, they love sharing some coupons with their families and friends. So with just one tap, they can copy the promo code and share it with their friends and family, of course. So when all these functions come together, we notice that it really increases the K factor of any kind of application, basically. So today's topic is about videos, so I will just jump into videos and try to link all this stuff with videos here. So when it comes to video formats, every year we spend more and more time watching videos on our mobile devices. And I have some statistics to prove I'm right. And also Sabina had some great statistics and examples from some research. So thank you for that. But I will just try to back you up a bit. So in the US, people spend 42 minutes a day viewing digital video on their mobile phones, compared to the 23 minutes of videos, like video watching time on computers. So it's almost 2 times of that, and that's huge. And also another study shows that 85% of millennials today in the US spend some time of watching the videos of the products before they buy products or services. They watch the videos like unboxing videos, tutorial videos, etc., and then they tend to buy these products. So as you can see, videos are getting more important, and applications, mobile apps, they try to create more video content, and also they want their content, video content, to be consumed in the most beautiful way. So that's why, like, knowing this, we also have some video story functions within Storyly. But why video stories? So I will just try to point out a few things. First of all, video stories are born in mobile. I mean, like, years ago, there was this video stories on social platforms, and the users, they kind of loved the experience, the vertical video watching experience, and in the full screen format, they just love the whole experience. So this is very important. And if you put this video story experience into any kind of app, the users will most likely just get it because it's their habit already, and they will probably love using it. And also, like, from another perspective, video stories are usually, again, it's a like habit from social platforms, but video stories are usually raw content. It's very simple. So as video content creators, you don't have to be super careful and while creating video stories, because they don't require a high level production, because it's just sincere and it's just raw, and users love it already. And also another point is that video stories are short. So it doesn't, they just don't bother, they just don't exhaust the end user with long videos. So it will just happen in a few seconds, maybe, or maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. They don't even have seek bars usually, because if we put seek bars in video stories, then we kind of lose the sense of FOMO within the end users. So video stories are that simple, that raw, that sincere, and that's already some kind of a habit between the users. But why do you want, like, why should you want all these experiences, all these beauties of video stories in your app? Because video stories are very beneficial, and you also want your users to take some actions, some certain actions within your app. So that's why you should probably have video stories in your app. And there are just a couple of points that I should cover here too. So with in-app video stories, you can create a meaningful narrative. Meaning that you can group your stories into story groups, and they are very easy to navigate. Your users can just tap to go to the next story and just tap back to just skip the story, etc. The gestures are so natural, and you can create the meaningfulness within your stories. Also, in your app with video stories, you can create actionable and shoppable experiences for your users. So with these shoppable experience, you can increase product discovery rates, you can increase conversion, as we talked already, and also the interactions like polls and quizzes, they are very fun ways to keep your users engaged. And also, this is something Storyly specific, but I think I should mention this too. So, like if you're using Storyly, then you shouldn't worry about like how to store the media, how to host the whole media, because we take care of all of this, and we optimize your videos for you without losing the quality of it. And also, we don't have a huge impact on the application side. So, Storyly is the perfect way to showcase your video content into your app. So I want to just, go over some of the examples from our customers actually. So this is JDID, and the screen that you're seeing on the right side is a video story from JDID. JDID is an Indonesian brand, and they have an e-commerce brand, and they have like thousands of products. So what they are doing with video stories is that they try to put product testing videos, and so by doing this, they kind of create the discovery driven layer in their applications. And also, I don't know if you can see it right now, but they also have this swipe up CTAs. So and with the swipe ups, they just redirect the user to the product page, and then just complete the whole purchase process, etc. And another example would be Cheers. Cheers is a French app, and what they do basically is they're a photo printing app. Usually, it's an app where the users can create their photo albums physically. But however, what they needed to do is that they wanted to show actually behind the scenes, like showcase the craft behind their products. So that's how they are using stories. They're just showing the factory within the stories to create, to build trust and confidence within their users. And these videos are also very inspirational for their users too. So another example is New Look of UK. So again, New Look is a fashion app. It's an e-commerce app, and what they do is they usually take lots of initiatives from sustainability to recycling, and they do lots of brand partnerships. And what they do in Storyly, they just put some videos to showcase their initiatives, and also announce their new brand partnerships. And also they put CTAs again, just like JDID, to make their video stories shoppable, and in a contextual feeling, they give the shoppable sense in their stories. So as you can see, as Sabine also talked about, stories, videos are very important in today's mobile world, and the future kind of belongs to the great video storytellers. And what we're trying to do in Storyly is that we're trying to provide video-centric functionalities to help our customers achieve their goals. So thank you for listening. And this is my email address here, jansu@storyly.io. You can reach me about any feedback, any questions, etc. And now I can also take some questions if you guys have any.
Thanks, Jansu. Thanks for the presentation. There are a couple of questions I can see here. So the first question is, which metrics should you track to consider your story strategy to be successful tool for retention?
Mm-hmm. So that's a very good question, actually. So of course, the metrics that you should track depend on the vertical of your application. But what I can suggest you is that in Storyly, we provide lots of engagement and retention metrics related to stories, like reach, like CTRs, like how many clicks does one story get, or just a story group or your app gets. So you should definitely track those, keep an eye on those. And while doing that, you can also just send all these story analytics data to any kind of analytics tool that you're using to see the whole funnel, and then you can also see very good points of retention and engagement as well. And yeah, I think I can say all of this stuff. And also for retention, I said that you should try to gamify the experience. So to do that, you should put some interactive stickers on top of stories, and you can also track the response rates of your interactive components, like how many people responded yes to a poll or no to a poll, etc. So you should keep an eye on all of these stuff.
Yes, that makes sense, absolutely. So another question is, do you have any recommendations in terms of story narratives? Any types of stories that convert the best?
Yeah, so that's also a great question, because like in this question, I will try to summarize a lot of things. So first things first, you should be brief and you should be catchy, because you don't have so much time in a story. So you should just get the attention of your users immediately. And to do that, you should make your stories interactive. As I talked earlier, you should put lots of interactive stickers. You should collect feedback from your users. You should ask what they want, or if they are happy with your service or your product. You should listen to them, basically, by making the stories interactive. And you should also make your stories dynamic. Put videos. Videos are fun. People love videos. So dynamic stories like videos, they are great for for retention, for engagement, for basically anything that's related to user life cycle. And also, I can't emphasize this enough, but you should try to make personalization in like any place you can. So if you personalize the whole the whole story, then you're probably getting the attention of your users. So I could definitely recommend this to our audience.
Thanks, Jinsoon, and thanks everyone for joining us today. By the way, if you are working on a subscription app, don't forget to join our subscription apps community on Slack.